Suppose a fish population is currently 3,400 and 7 years later the population is 18,000. Use the explicit exponential model to find the rate of growth. Express the rate of growth as a percent, rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. All right, so our goal is to use the model with the numbers, solve for r, convert to a percent, and then round. Okay, so the formula P sub n equals P sub 0 times 1 plus r to the n. That is the explicit exponential model that we have to use. Currently, that's P sub 0. 7 years, that's n. And 18,000, that will replace the P sub n. This gives us a formula 18,000 equals 3,400 times 1 plus r to the 7. We now need to solve for r. So we do our basic arithmetic first, add, subtract, multiply, divide stuff, and that would be divide by the 3,400. And we can reduce a couple of zeros. I'm not going to reduce much more because I'm going to use my calculator anyway, but it makes it a little bit easier to write this next line. And now we have 1 plus r to the 7th power. Now, to find the rate, we need to use a root, the 7th root. Now, what the 7th root is actually a 1/7 power. So I prefer to actually write this as a 1/7 power. It makes it easier to calculate on the left side to have it written in this way. Now if you know power to a power, you multiply. 1/7 times 7 over 1 is just 1. So you can see how this reduces to just leave us 1 plus r. And this left side, it's just messier and messier, but until we go to our calculator, I don't want to touch it because I don't want to make an approximation error. All right, last thing, we need to subtract 1. There's not really a nice place to put it here, but when I write it down again, I'm going to write the r equals on the left side, r equals. I would have this 180 divided by 34 to the 1/7 power minus 1. Okay, so we can take a look. So we have parenthesis 180 divided by 34, close parenthesis, to the 1/7 power. I want to make sure the 1/7 is all in the exponent, so I'm going to use parentheses, 1 divided by 7, minus 1. This should give us r. Now this is where we would go to a percentage, 26.88. We want to go to a tenth, so approximately 26.88%, and then we can go to the tenths. This would be 26.9%. Okay, let's check this. So with the button on your calculator, the answer button, you can start off 3,400, enter, multiply by the 1 plus r, so this would be 1 plus, and I'm going to use the 0.2688. This won't be perfect, this is an approximation, but it should show us pretty close to 18,000. So when I multiply by 1 plus r, that'll be after 1 year. So this is 1 year. That number is now in the answer spot, so if I hit enter again, it'll grow this by 26.88. This is 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th. After 7 years, we're basically at 18,000. It's not exact because we rounded r. If we went back and typed this in exactly for r, this would be exactly 18,000. So we've checked this work with our calculator in a recursive way, and we're good to go. All right, I hope this helps.